everybody, and welcome to the Sessions Canceled podcast. I just fucked up the not only the part, but the record and swapped them entirely.
I thought that second one was either a bit or you were actually hitting the record button. I was like, this is gonna get real interesting.
I had to hold it in. I had to hold it in from saying anything. Because Sam fucked up and I just went, all right, namaste. Say nothing. Just let it rock.
I muted myself for laugh.
There was such a long pause.
The Zelgius, an interesting maneuver.
I literally pushed the microphone away from myself.
I was trying so hard not to laugh. Sessions canceled because I did a fuck up. I did a little bit of a fuck you, wacky. What a good way to start out. With me today is Josh.
Yeah, I'm here.
Matt.
Hi.
And Isaiah.
What's up?
God. Okay. All right. So today, I was thinking about on Dragon Ball Z Super X Ultra GT Edition. I know we're getting real far into it. I've been thinking about flower bombs a lot recently. Because of some shenanigans that we have pulled in the Sunday game previously, but also that we talked about doing in the Sunday game recently. Just blowing up an entire gate with flour because it'd be funny.
To be clear, when Sam says flower bombs, he means flour like cooking flour, not like flowers from the garden.
Like a sack of fucking flour,
like
baby.
Of flour.
Oh, okay. Because I'm sitting here like, did your druid like fucking shoot a cannon filled with flowers out of gate?
Like ground up wheat flour, thrown at someone and go kaboom. So because of that, I've been thinking about a lot of stories that I've heard on the internet about just the creative usage of both mundane and magical items, such as flour. Or the immovable rod is one that usually comes up. I have
an immovable rod too, but you don't hear me talking about it all the time.
Listen,
no, you literally do talk about it all the time.
Every episode.
You got me there.
Gosh, if you're bold-faced lying.
You got me there.
Just trying to work through it.
Yeah.
Like the immovable rod being placed on top of someone that you're like, well, we don't have any rope. You look at the rod, you look at the body on the ground, you look back at the rod and you go, yeah, that'll do it. And you just, you put it on top of them. What are they going to do? Roll out? Nah, it's just sunk into their chest cavity now. They can't move.
Crack a few ribs.
Yeah, they may wake up in excruciating pain, but if you're trying to trap them, tie them up, they probably are not someone you want to keep unharmed. But we'll be talking about some of the fun stuff that you can do with magical items and how magical items that are seemingly like kind of.
All right, whatever. So if you put an immovable rod up, never mind.
You're not moving.
Yeah.
Or you're gonna be like that dragon from Critical Role and just tear a new asshole open. That could happen too.
Can we just shout out to the way that Ashley Johnson was like, seriously, it's ass. Like the way she pronounced it killed me. It was so good.
It's a reasonable reaction.
I mean, correct.
Yeah, but also effective. If you do it while someone's sleeping, how are they gonna know? They could just feel like they have to take a massive shit. Anyway, there's always some items out there that people are like, so why does this exist in D&D? Like adjustable stilts.
What?
Yeah, adjustable stilts. Just
And the player's handbook? I don't remember.
you're fucking with me, but I'm also terrified to think that you're not.
No, they're real.
It's in Dragon Heist. It's a real magic item.
The stilts take 1 minute to put on or remove. They increase the height of any humanoid wearing them by 2 to 5 feet. Each stilt weighs 8 pounds and is 1 foot long when fully collapsed.
And the best part is they do not say that they cause any amount of like difficulty moving. They don't require anything either. You can just be like, I want to be 5 feet taller.
Why is that a thing?
I don't.
Maybe it's used in one of the heists. I don't remember reading that in the book though. Fuck.
Page 47.
It's in there. Page
now all I can think about is the
Dragon Heist.
You guys seen that fucking clip of 1998, the American Godzilla, when they've got the digigrade legs and they're just racing down the hallway with the digigrade legs?
I have not.
I remember.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna show you. It's really dumb.
Oh god.
Okay. I'm now looking at all the items that are
questionable.
New to Waterdeep Dragon Heist.
There's
I really like the oversized longbow.
What, does that do anything?
Can only be used by a medium or larger creature that has a strength of 18 or higher. And it's strength based.
When you want to be that
2d6
weirdo,
damage.
Play a barbarian with a bow. There you go.
I don't. There are several things I don't like about that. First and foremost, it's like, oh, it's a strength bow. That's where you're wrong, kiddo. Every bow is actually a strength bow. And then it's like, oh, it does 2d6. So you're saying I need 18 strength to use a ranged greatsword. You see the problem with this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They also have a matchless pipe, so you could just light your pipe whenever you want to.
Amazing.
Also, I like how half the magic items in that book are from what's his name? Jarlaxle. Like half of them are just his. You got one that's like a feather turns into a bird. He's got an eye patch that basically makes it like that he can't, no one can detect if he's lying or not. My favorite ones are the bracers that like let him throw daggers. Like those are sick. Those are great on any rogue.
I love mundane items. They're so fucking stupid. Especially, the adjustable stilts. Like you could just, the first thing I imagine is a gnome going, I want to be 5 feet taller. And just walking around on stilts the whole time. It's like, that's a very weirdly shaped humanoid that's about 7 feet tall, and their arms are about the size of my face.
Yeah.
Why so tall? Yeah, there's a lot of weird, interesting items out there that don't really get, used except by those zany, wacky players. Oh god, what's his name from that comic? I mean, listen, Flower is hilarious.
Look, I think I'm much to that. I'm just a creative player, sir.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
However you want to rationalize it, yeah.
How would you put it, friend?
A pain in my ass.
That's that's very rude.
A creative
sometimes
pain in my ass.
Sometimes when your player comes out with some literal science that makes you stay up at night, maybe you should keep that player around. Just saying. You'll learn many things. I haven't murdered him yet.
Not for lack of trying.
I meant in real life, but
Gosh, I'm telling you, just cooking book, man. It's gonna work. It'll be great. Cooking book.
Huh?
You get a bunch of bards together riding donkeys. Each one casts heat metal on him, and then they run away. He can't take his skin off.
Why are they riding donkeys?
Because
that's how they get away from him. They're not gonna run.
What about horses, Matt?
They're not gonna run.
Why are they
listen, I'm just saying this now, Matt. That doesn't work because I have a Dragonel with increased speed that can pick Django up like nothing.
It's all fun and games. So Django grabs one of those bards and they just explode from all the stacked heat metal. I think rules is written you can't affect one creature with the same spell more than once unless it states otherwise.
I don't think you can, no.
Oh, that's why you can't multi-haste.
Yeah.
Which would be very funny.
Hey, yo, let's cast 4 haste on this one dude. Okay.
It would be, but yeah, no, I don't think you can.
That man's moving.
That being said, I suppose, I don't know, is there like a range you need to be within for heat metal? I suppose you could like fly in on like a fucking griffin or some shit, cast heat metal, and then just fly away.
Yeah, basically, yeah. You basically have to be in range to cast the spell, and then afterwards you could just fuck off.
It does not say anything about being in range after the spell has been cast.
That's fucked up.
There you go. Just have a 20th level bard show up.
Fucked up, yeah.
That's fucked up.
It's just, hey, you have to be within 60 feet and then just go.
Yeah, all right. Well, that's interesting. What if you go on another plane?
Oh, you gotta take him to the plane of fire. That'd be funny.
Just double down.
My skin.
Don't do that, because all Django needs to do is kick one Afridi's ass and take the Afridi chain, and then it's actually over. And I have no doubt that Django could 1v1 an Afridi.
Like, give me your chain, give me your bottle, give me your skin, we're good.
Yeah, give me your... I like the idea of Django looking at an Afridi and going, give me your skin. I think he just terrified the Afridi. He's like, you know what? I don't want any part of anything that this psychopath has to offer. Hold on, I'm actually looking up what CR and Afridi is.
11.
Lower than you.
Listen, Django just becomes a flayed one. It's fine. Nothing is wrong with this. Starts smearing.
I think all the genies are CR 11.
So it really depends on its plus. It's got a plus 10 to hit. So it would still need to roll at least a 15 to actually hit Django.
My fucking god.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
That's just for now. Wow.
I think so it has plane shift. It'd probably just plane shift Django.
Probably just
back.
Fuck off after a minute.
He'd just be like, yo, bro, you need to fuck off. I don't want you here anymore.
Oh my god.
This is some bullshit.
Hey, yo, this metal man keeps coming back. He wants to throw hands, and I don't want him
wants
here.
My skin.
He keeps coming back and threatening to take my skin.
This Django comes back wearing fucking like Middle Eastern armor and just has like the Afridi's face like a yokai mask.
Oh.
Everyone's just like, "Are you a good Django?" And he's like, "I am fucking
Django,
proof."
would you get that?
No one will cast heat metal on me ever again.
Oh, that's right. It does make you immune to fire.
Yeah, that was the whole point.
Oh, I thought it just lets you walk on lava.
No.
I forgot this innate immunity to fire damage.
There you go.
This is great. I love this.
How did we get here? What day is it?
I don't even know anymore. I've just been thinking about Django being the Doom Slayer. That's
pretty
much dimension.
Yeah.
From Tomophos, you guys know the Maroots, the big metal like construct guys?
Oh yeah.
The ones that automatically hit and always deal 60 damage.
Yeah.
That's gonna be Django in his final form.
I have no idea what that is.
Oh, hold on, I gotta show you a picture. They're cool. They're actually probably gonna be a big deal in the Planescape book coming out.
Oh, yeah. I've
like,
seen these, yeah.
Yeah, they're the like strongest thing in Mechanus. And they basically go out and fuck people up who are messing with causality.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a guaranteed hit.
They do.
Yep.
Oh, and there's
like
CR 25.
One target doesn't have a hit. It just automatically hits and it automatically deals 60 force damage.
Oh.
Well,
holy
now you know what to use.
Yep. And this is what it looks like. Basically, that circle plate on its chest is a contract written there, and basically that's their target that they have to go after.
I do love these
If the contract is ever broken, then they go over there and they find the person, and then they bring them back to I don't know if it's Sigil, whatever, and basically just make them, they go back to the Hall of Concordiance and Sigil and have to, serve out their sentence.
And they have legendary resistance.
Yeah.
Yes.
And magical resistance.
Yeah, these things
and magic
are brutal.
resistance and immune to any spell that would affect their
It
farm.
will plane shift. It will follow you.
It can fly. It has 22 AC. This is dad.
fly.
This is Django's dad. This is basically just
Holy shit.
This is Django's dad.
Jesus. Oh, and it makes
listen.
2 attacks, so it's a guaranteed 120 damage a round.
Yep. And it does have reach too.
That's unreasonable. Holy shit.
Yeah. It also has the blazing edict.
Oh, and it can just cause every creature within 60-foot cube to take 45 damage, and if they fail a DC 20 Wisdom throw, stunned until the end of its next turn. Its next turn.
Its next turn. Yep.
Or
I'm kind of sad I never got to throw one of these in my players.
DC 20 Charisma saving throw or be teleported to the Hall of Concordance.
Yep.
Target
I don't actually know what happens when you get sent there.
I don't know, but probably something interesting.
Isn't that where actual Mechanist hangs out?
Yeah.
So he just looks at you and goes, "Do better," and sends you back. Like,
Planescapes, and it's sad because apparently Planescape didn't sell very well when it originally came out back in 3rd edition, 2nd edition. I don't remember, but it's an interesting city. It's really cool. The fact that like all the multiverse, all the different universes connect there. They're all everyone's friends. Like a Pit Fiend and a Planetar can just have dinner together and talk, be on like equal playing field, because one of the big rules there is no one's allowed to fight.
I love the idea. No, damn it. I love the idea of a Pit Fiend eating dinner with a Planetar. He's like, I'm just so tired of torturing the Lemures. It's every day, all day. Nothing changes.
I'm so bored.
This is hell. No.
I mean, it is literally hell, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
They didn't tell me that I would also be tortured.
Also, I like the idea, though, that the Planetar sitting on the other side, like, it's rough, bud.
Yeah, he's there trying to be a therapist. And how does that make you feel?
Yeah.
Oh no, now I'm just getting the spiders. And then my Uncle Ben, let me guess, he died.
Yeah. Yep.
I think I just found my new favorite weapon.
Oh.
Sunforger.
Unforger.
It's a warhammer.
Oh, is that the Ravnica one?
As in,
The one that's
yes.
just a fucking hammer made out of fire.
Oh,
You throw it and it's a fireball.
it's a fireball.
It's
So
a
fun,
fireball hammer. Like,
so fun thing. I actually took that and I made that into one of the magic weapons in the 3-year campaign, because it was like that. It's such a cool weapon.
Why?
A lot of the Ravnica items are just fucking sick.
Why you got a mouth?
oh, because it's cool.
Yeah, mouth are cool. Lava mouth.
Why you got a mouth?
That just reminds me of Lava X. It's a magic card.
Oh.
Okay. Sam, where were we going with this?
Listen, I was going to talk about like your experiences with magic items and mundane items that make you go, why do I let my players do things like, flower bombs? But like, I don't know. I've lost the plot. I started thinking about fucking Doom music playing when Django walks into anywhere because he murdered an Afridi.
He just walks in the single. I'm all out of Afridi.
I'm here to kick. Yeah. I'm here to
And I
kick
can't chew
ass.
bubble gum.
Chew bubble gum. I'm all out of bubble gum. Yeah, I mean,
I have a friend that
Matt,
can-
do you know the flower story? Out of curiosity.
No, you haven't
Really?
told me. But before that, Josh, you know what else you could do with a flower bomb? You could blast our listeners to our Twitter page. Josh, take it away.
Boy. Wow, you're...
I think that was my worst one. I'm not gonna lie.
Impressive how he keeps doing this. I am actually quite impressed that you did this about 4 weeks in a row.
This just turned into a bit all in of itself.
Yep.
Oh yeah, just hit follow, just hit follow or subscribe right now. Go over to the page, hit the button, do the thing. It'd be nice. Don't explode 2 flower bombs.
Yeah, don't.
Or at least try not to.
But if you do see a Sunforger, maybe explode to that. I don't know. It's pretty rad.
Sunhammer, cool.
You should definitely go to the plane of fire and steal a Nefriti skin.
Yeah.
Yes, that too.
Anyway,
I mean, like, you'll probably die in the process, but if you come back,
to give you context,
you'll be a legend.
At some point, my players were. Killing a local gang leader basically was the plan.
As you do.
And Isaiah said, "Hey, can I buy a shitload of flour?" And I was like, "Why?" And Isaiah said, "Well, you see, if you throw a fuckload of flour in a room and then light it on fire, it makes a makeshift bomb." And I was like, "Boy, I really would love to say no because this is dumb, but I guess I can't argue with this, and I don't know the science well enough to say if it works or not. So here we are." So Isaiah threw flour at the bad guys.
I did. I also then grabbed that guy and choked him in his own cloud kill.
He did also kill him in his own cloud kill. Yes, he grabbed him. No, it only happened once. He grabbed him and then turned him around and stuck him in his own cloud kill.
I remember that story. I'm just like, he did it again? Fuck.
No, just
we
once.
were talking about it, though.
They did consider it last session, something of that nature, but or the session before, funny. But no, just the one time.
You know what's funny is that there is an item that does a similar thing, and it's just an acorn. Nice. It's just called explosive seed.
I mean, I have explosive seed named. Too, if you know what I'm saying.
From. What is that from? Wildmount?
Yep.
Of course.
Is it Wacky Woo Fun Times? It's probably from fucking Exandria.
Yeah, they have a bunch.
There's also blasting powder, but that's not as fun as throwing an acorn.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a mundane item.
Maybe blasting.
It literally doesn't have a listed cost.
Maybe blasting powder is what I should have used as the flower bomb.
Blasting powder and clockwork trigger. Oh, it does bludgeoning damage? That's
it's an explosion.
Sure. I mean,
it's basically
it's not shrapnel. It's an explosion.
A grenade. Yeah,
right. Yeah, all right. Fair enough.
Yeah, the flower thing, its technical term, it's called a dust explosion.
Yeah, it's a very real thing. Weird. Used to happen in mines all the time.
Yeah.
Less of an explosion, more of getting covered in fire type situation.
That's fine, all the Eric Knights.
Yeah.
Wait. We were talking about something last session. Was it the explosion that we set up? Yeah. So we were.
Yes.
So in our last session, we made a really big, the thermite, a big fucking bomb coming right up, and we blew the hinges off a reinforced
Palace gate.
Yeah, Palace gate, and then it came to my realization: we're underground, right? So there is, by definition, for the most part, a limited amount of oxygen, because oxygen will naturally sort of leak out to the surface and then come back down, right? That's how that works. But it takes time for the oxygen to refill in the area. So I had to think in my think pan and was like, oh no, an explosion that big would probably just eat all of the oxygen and leave carbon monoxide. So if the explosion didn't kill you, you would suffocate to death horribly.
Not a fun time, no.
And I went, are we the baddies?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Horrible people, really.
Baddies with the cause.
Just committing war crimes. I mean, listen, sometimes you have to commit a war crime or two to really get the point across, right?
Yeah.
And Matt's players, if you think, wow, Isaiah, that sounds kind of like terrorism. The difference is we were helping the Drow. Thank you very much.
I mean, my players were helping Drow in some way.
First of all, but we were directly helping the Drow. This is not the same. We are not the same. You watched Arcane for the animation. I watched it for Jinx's armpits. We are not the same.
Understandable. Have a nice.
Yeah, same.
All right. I didn't think we were going to get there, but okay.
Listen. Some drow are being mind controlled. Some aren't. We're helping the ones that aren't being mind controlled.
True. See?
And we're also attempting to help the ones that are mind controlled. It may or may not help. But we'll see. We'll see about that one.
Yeah.
Tune in next time. It's actually going to be way more than next time.
It's going to be more than next time.
It's going to be a few weeks.
It's going to be a few weeks for that one. Tune in eventually for the sick conclusion to
the
wacky woohoo drow adventures. Will one of us get to fuck Spider Mommy? We don't know.
I really want it to be Leah.
Okay.
Despite the fact that Leah is ace is all fuck, I really want it to be Leah.
Yeah.
Josh, the drow in your setting also Australian or
no?
Damn,
No, they're definitely not Australian.
No.
Don't come from a land down under.
All right, Matt, I do have to ask this question of you specifically because
oh boy,
your players are fucking.
Hi, spider monkeys.
Spider monkey. That's not the term I would have used, but I like that term a lot.
No, goons who like to look at this beautiful, specifically designed character to destroy everything that you hold dear. Matt, have they ever actually used a magic item to just fuck you over?
Fuck me over.
Like just go like, hey, listen.
If you say no, I don't believe you.
I know you forgot that you gave us this item, but we're going to use this item right now and you're going to have a bad time.
Not really fucking me over, but they did would do ridiculous things. Like I told you guys in one of the campaign recaps, Shadow Monk with the new movable rod destroying the two masts of the giant Githyanki ship. And then basically being like,
I don't remember this. Was I here for that episode?
No,
it was part of the great joke.
Yeah, it was part of the great joke.
Yeah, I think you were. I think you were out that time, but
I missed
and then realizing, no, the Gith ship doesn't work. I wonder why. Or destroying the Drow house with the instant fortress. Like being like, what if I just glue the instant fortress sideways and then lean it up so that way when it spawns, it's gonna knock over every single support beam of the house.
I do love those items.
This one.
The instant building just and you're just like, why did I give this to my players? This is evil. Like what? Oh, I shove it in the big bad's mouth and activate it, and you just go, wait, no.
Yeah.
What do you do then?
What else?
What do you do? What can you do?
One of the players. So one of the items they had was the homebrewed version of Frostbrand, right? The ice sword.
Yes.
One of the abilities that I found online, I thought was cool, and I gave it to it, was that it can just freeze a certain diameter of water into ice. And there was one time they were fighting something and they put in a watery sphere and the player with the ice sword was like, wait a minute.
Ice.
Wait a minute. And then they just froze the creature in a big ball of ice. And we're like, well, we did it, guys. He's dead. He's fucking.
I consider this an absolute win. He's fucking dead.
And I'm just like, yeah, he should probably get suffocated, I guess. I don't know.
Either that or he's cryo frozen.
Yeah.
Just reminds me of the time that Wolverine survived trapped in an iceberg by eating his own flesh.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, because he regenerates.
He regenerates more than the calories he consumes. So the science doesn't make any sense. Comic books.
Yeah.
He also survived a nuclear blast. It was he was just a skeleton. He just regrew it all. So
He also came back from just being a drop of blood one time. So,
that's true.
He regrew the skeleton.
Yes, he did regrow the animate.
He did.
Like, how did he do that? How did you do that from a drop of blood?
I just, it just works, It's science.
It's fine. Batman recently survived a fall from space. I mean,
Yes.
like very recently.
I do actually know of that one. Yeah.
And then he references and he was like, I'll be fine. I survived falling from space. And you're like, no, shut up. Fuck you.
I just.
Okay.
What else? It's mostly been like the immovable rod, though, has been like such a funny weapon. I think during the big, and again, I'll get to it in the recap story later, but like when they fought the big boss dragon lady, they did the fucking critical role thing of like, yeah, I'm gonna go inside the dragon. And I'm like,
way up his butt, Morty.
I'm like, okay, go inside the dragon. He's like, all right, I'm gonna activate the immovable rod, and then I'm gonna get the fuck out. And how much damage does she do? She moves. And I was like, fuck. That was fun.
The answer they were looking for was it kills.
It was it did do a lot of damage though.
How did you calculate that?
I looked up improv rules and I calculated depending on how her size.
No.
So I was like, okay, because I made the final boss Colossal Plus, I guess in older editions, which normally a gargantuan sized creature is like what, 5 spaces, 5 blocks, 25 by 25.
Yeah.
Yes, I believe so.
So she was like, I think she was like 45 by 45 squares.
Wait, 45 by, so not 5 by 5, 45 by 45.
Sorry, not 45 by 45. Yeah,
I was gonna
sorry.
say, Jesus.
So sorry, I think she was 7 by 7 blocks. I'm sorry.
All right.
Or 8 by 8. I don't remember. But she was huge. She was fucking gigantic.
Gargantic.
Among Us.
So it wasn't me who did it or was running it, but I have an honorable mention, which was in the game where I played both the Kalashtar and version 2 of Samir. One of the guys that I was playing with, Lucy, his character had the like Minato from Naruto teleport shuriken or like a kunai things. And we infiltrated the like enemy army's stronghold to rescue the prince or whatever. And he set up the most convoluted, complex, 5th dimensional 12 brain. Like, he was like, okay, so these ones will let me teleport with someone, but these ones won't let me teleport with someone. So what I'll do is I'll go here, and then I'll teleport back here, and then I'll grab him, and I'll take him, and I'll teleport over here. And then what I'll do is I'll teleport over there to start to throw the guys off, but then I'll teleport back because they thought that I had the kid with me. So I'm going to teleport back there, and then I'm going to take my long range one. I'm going to teleport out of the city, but then I'm going to go back to the city because they're going to think that I went back into that. Like, I just sat there melting as he like put together this play, and I could tell over Discord the dungeon master was just like, what are you fucking talking about?
I'm just gonna say yes so I can get him to shut up.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
I think that if I was a player, I would definitely be laughing at that. I don't know if I'd be laughing as the DM though.
No, the DM kind of just put his hands up and was like, I guess.
I fucking guess. Yeah. I don't blame him. Yeah, that was his reaction. I mean, I just thought of the one time that Matt was like, so a werewolf comes out and then puts on a wizard hat.
Snarla.
Yeah.
Started what was the actual name of that hat? I always forget the actual.
Hat of Wizardry.
Yeah.
Thank you. I was like, I know it's probably hat of wizard something. But
something. Yeah.
Really fucking lame if that was just the name.
So I think the real gem for the Snarla thing was, at literally every turn we were expecting Matt to like be like, I'm kidding, and we were like, Matt, is that written? And he was like, oh yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes.
What do you
It's
mean
called
that's just in there?
A funhouse dungeon. For
the record, dear listeners, this is the same funhouse dungeon where Matt homebrewed that the guy running the dungeon was like a Twitch streamer. Yeah. So it really was all bets off as to whether or not he was memeing or being genuine, and the amount of times he was being genuine was
it was 50-50, really.
Yeah, it was 50. It was really concerning.
I really want to try and run because I told you guys that they've made more like White Plume Mountains in later editions and stuff. I think there's 3 of them total.
I'm gonna need you to repeat that.
There's more. So total, there's the original White Plume Mountain that got reprinted multiple times. Mm-hmm. There's White Plume Mountain 2, Revenge of Caraptus, and then the third one, which I don't remember the name of. But basically, each one is another funhouse dungeon, more wackier and crazier and deadlier. There's, I think, like without spoiling one of them too much, in one of the dungeons, there's like, kind of like, the tank room with all the lobsters and the sea lions. Yeah. There's another one of those rooms, but instead it's an upside down pyramid. Oh, actually, they use this in Tomb of Annihilation, and inside the room is an invisible beholder. That you have to fight and survive. And I guess they ended up using that for Tomb of Annihilation.
Oh, yeah, actually, I do remember that in Tomb, yeah.
Yeah, and so apparently it came from that, the second White Plume Mountain, or third White Plume Mountain adventure. And it's like, the players have to find something in the room while surviving this invisible fucking beholder.
Yeah.
Just so dumb. Flower bomb that boy.
Hell yeah.
Actual fucking insanity.
Yeah. Oh, good.
And here I was thinking about how, there was a goblin that used Whelm, and Whelm was just like, I do not wish to be touched by this foul creature.
Wait,
Whelm? What the fuck?
No, Whelm was the trident, right?
Yes. No, that's Wave.
That was Wave. Wave is the trident.
Oh, yeah. Whelm was the hammer?
Yes.
Yeah. Part of me is like, sorry, go on.
No, I was just saying that I literally like just looked at them because we were talking about White Plume.
I was gonna say, a part of me thinks that putting those artifacts is the dumbest shit, but also
there he is.
It's probably the most fun I've ever had in a one shot at any given time. Like. Just the absolute nonsense that you can get up to in that one shot, because you've got 3 artifact level weapons and a pocket full of dreams. Like,
yeah.
I don't remember. There was did you guys see that TikTok video where it was the guy, the dungeon master, explaining? He's like, listen, in D&D, a campaign, it's okay to give your level 3 players, like, you have a paladin in the party, they're just at level 3. Have their god, whatever. Just give them a holy avenger. He needs it for an assignment, and your players will freak the fuck out because they just got this fucking Omega nuclear bomb weapon. And it's like, if you're playing in a normal game where it's like, the magic item distribution isn't like crazy, and it's like, if this is the only like Omega nuclear weapon they found in the campaign so far, it's like, okay, sure. But it's like one of those things where it's like, it's going to ruin a fuck ton of combat encounters that the DM sets up. But at the same time, the player's enjoyment is going to increase tremendously because they just got a fucking Holy Avenger. They're only level 3. They're like, what the fuck?
Okay, so I have a few problems with that.
Yeah.
Like, I get, players getting an item and it's like, oh shit, brother, that's pretty rad. Woo. It's like giving someone a sunblade and be like, hey, here's your lightsaber, go have fun. But like at the same time, like I feel like that would just make it boring.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I just get real bored.
Like, okay, so the paladin, the paladin has the sword of the awesome. I forgot the name of the sword from. No, the sword from the South Park episode.
Oh,
I think it's like 1,000 Truths or something. He just wins combat.
Yeah.
He's the only one that matters in combat because he has the +3, he has the damage, he has the ability to give everybody advantage on saving throws, so we all have to huddle around him. Like, it just, I don't know. and anybody else playing is like, well, I have a short sword.
Yeah.
I can attack
Wizard. I have a plus. Wizard. I found this +1 dagger. Just like, all right.
Oh, buddy, that's real good for you, Wizard. You're level 3.
Good job, Mandolf. Now go sit in the corner.
Yeah, exactly. So you're just like, okay, so the paladin is the main character now.
Yeah.
Like doing things like that, sure, maybe in a one shot, and you're just like, LOL, here's your holy adventure. Then the paladin explodes because it wasn't a holy adventure. It was actually it was a flower bomb in disguise.
Baby.
Like I don't know. It just. I feel like giving your players magical items like that, unless like they've done something really cool or specific to their story, maybe not do that at level 3. Maybe when the wizard can actually cast spells that aren't. Yeah, magic so this missile. This is a different flavor of. I almost said flame blast. Wow, please stop it.
Flame blast.
Look, I got chromatic orb. Real cool, guys. It's just magic missile, but different.
That's why I'm a big fan of the evolving magic item rules and such that you look up online. And the Wizards of the Coast / Critical Role did this with the vestiges and the fucking upgraded armors and the Dragon Horde items, which are cool. Like half my players in Strixhaven right now have evolving magic items. And right now, I think one of them just got theirs to like the second stage. So he's like, "Oh fuck, this is sick."
I wouldn't mind the idea of like at level 3 you give your player a Holy Avenger, but it's typically just like a +1 sword. But when either like you have to make a roll to try to like activate its full form, and let's say it gives you like 1d4 points of exhaustion. Or it's like it works kind of like the fucking Divine Inspiration, like roll a d100, let's see if it activates. I think that would be really fucking cool, and that'd be really great narratively to be like, the paladins are secret. He's not even like the main character. He's just like the surprise secret weapon.
Yeah,
really cool. You'd have to. That being said, it could not be just the level. It would like. This is what we said. What I said about in the fucking Divine Intervention thing, right? Where it has to be either your level plus your, whatever your spellcasting mod is, or your prof mod, or something. It just like it
could also be, like if it's like a story thing, it would be specifically like, again, this is for like a paladin or cleric or whatever, where it's like, hey, you're going into this dungeon. There's this one specific devil. He is going to murder the shit out of your party. I'm going to give you this Holy Avenger. Do not use it in the dungeon until you find this devil. You understand me? If you pull it out any other time before you fight that devil, it's going to disintegrate in your hands and then you will lose out. So it kind of gives the paladin like, oh shit, all right, I gotta wait. I gotta wait for my moment.
And then the paladin runs into 4 goblins and says, fuck it, Holy Avenger.
Yeah. Or he falls into a pit, fucking spike trap and dies. And you're just like, well.
Does anyone else want the Holy Avenger?
Yeah, who's gonna crawl down there and go get that sword?
Go get that bitch.
Sell that for money.
Money. I like money.
Second they hand it to the bad guy. The second they hand it to the fucking merchant, it disintegrates. They just look at him and then they run away.
Like fuck.
Goes into fucking. No, it takes his back. He's.
They say Holy Avenger. I mean a Holy Disintegrator. All right, don't worry. Right now it's just invisible.
Slip
it looks like it just disintegrated to dust.
It's just invisible. God. It's funny. This whole episode, I'm just thinking like, Sam's not actually putting me on blast on purpose, but I'm definitely being put on blast on some level because this is just me. Because I'm the guy. In every game I'm in, I'm consistently that fucking guy who's like, "Hey, Dungeon Master, can I do this thing?" And then they look at me like I've got 8 heads, and I go, "Well, you see, kind Dungeon Master, X, Y, and Z, therefore," and they just look at me like, "I hate you, I hate you." so much. Like
I mean, you know, it happens.
In my first campaign, we had to fight a bunch of werewolves on an island. So I was like, okay, this. Yeah. Or I was like, all right. So if I make what did I made white phosphorus. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna put liquid silver in the white phosphorus solution, so when the white phosphorus ignites, it'll vaporize the silver, and we'll just mustard gas the werewolf. And was it like an hour of me and the GM debating on how much damage that could do, and like how it definitely should not be a level of cloud kill. And I agreed. But I did make the argument it should work the way cloud kill does, where it like, you know, it lingers and it can go downstairs and whatnot.
Yeah.
Was that a waste of an hour? Yes. Were the other players probably mad at me? Maybe. Was it worth it? Yes. Would I do it again? Absolutely. I really did not want to fight those werewolves.
Understandably. I mean, you know what this really reminds me of? This reminds me of the holy water in the scabbard.
Oh, yeah.
You know? Holy water in the scabbard.
So
you were there, Matt.
Yeah.
Which we're all there.
This was a Curse of Strahd. So if you don't remember, and to our dear listeners, my character Luca was a smart young lad who was also a mystic, and was arguably this entire episode could be based around Luca. Let's be real. And I was like, well, I don't have any means to fight werewolves because they'll just heal from my psychic powers. No, my one weakness. Overcoming my psychic powers, the thing that I didn't think you could overcome. So my character, I took 2 levels in fighter because Josh's warlock fighter took chronic longswords to the chest.
Yep.
And with my newly acquired longswords, I went, oh, these are awesome, but I can't hurt the werewolves. So we bought. Oh no, this wasn't for the werewolves because this was holy water. That's right. But I did use the silver short sword in the holy water. I poured a bunch of holy water into the scabbard of my short sword. So if we were ever fighting like a vampire or some other evil beastie, I could quickly sheathe and unsheathe my sword, you know, as a free action, and I could just get a one-hit like non-healable stab off. And every so often, I just kept re-upping by pouring water into my scabbard. And thank God that sword was made of silver, because that would have been a rusty piece of junk after a few days.
Oops.
There was also the exactly 37 vials of holy water that we made.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what?
Yeah.
You were there, Matt.
I don't remember that many vials.
Vials of holy water? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so basically I went up to Sam and was like, hey, bud, how many glass vials could I get for like 10 gold pieces or something? And he was like, we'll call it 37. And I was like, all right, cool. Can't Barrick just make, or no, it was Valenthe. I was like, can't she just make holy water because she's a paladin? And Sam was like, correct, yes, she can. So I was like, all right, cool. So we're just gonna get a bunch of water, sanctify the water, and have holy water hand grenades. And I'm just gonna start chucking them at Strahd when the fight starts.
Yeah. You know, just players using their ingenuity to make an item to feel like, hey, we're gonna do this thing. And then Strahd turned out to be a depressed piece of shit. But like, you know.
A depressed asshole who like was kind of a homie at the end of the day.
He wished for the ultimate death.
He said, hey guys, I want to take a ride on the sewer slide. Think you can help? And we ran.
I keep trying from these adventurers and they don't do the shit no more.
Damn, he really said it, just don't hit the same. Oh god. The other times that I do that, now I'm scared. Now I'm thinking back. I'm having like, have I been a villain the whole time? Montage in my head. I did this a lot.
I've been the villain the whole time.
Yeah, no. Wow.
I mean, it happens. Sometimes you just gotta be that guy.
Now I just feel bad for anybody who ever DM'd for me.
Got any comment on that, Josh?
I mean, you definitely do be doing this shit. Like, I don't know what other way to slice it, but are you the baddie? I mean, maybe a little bit.
The question is, will I stop? And the answer is inconclusive.
No.
Why did you both say it's so defeated?
Because I know.
Are we wrong?
No.
Exactly.
And that's what makes it better.
Yeah.
But also worse.
So, just look, if you wanna not be the villain of the story, just have these ideas and then just don't say anything.
Or do them as the DM.
Or that.
Oh, I do a lot.
Yeah.
Quite a bit, actually.
Oh, please do tell.
So, one of the monsters in my setting is called a Feroraptor. It's basically like a 10-foot tall velociraptor made of metal that can run faster than the eye can see. It's the fastest creature in the game. Or it counts as a vehicle, and it is the fastest vehicle in the game by technicality, by like a wide margin. And it has a thing that if it moves a certain distance and it collides with you, it counts as a head-on collision, which in Hellscapes is 10d10, plus the standard collision, which is 3d10, and it does an extra 2d10 if it can move the full distance and you're prone. So one of my players was up against a wall, sniping at it from across the map, and being the fastest thing in the game. They shot the rider got off, so it started rampaging, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna roll to see what direction it goes in, and it just so happened on the D8 that it was going, what is that, 5, which is directly to the fucking left, so it smashed into her for a comical amount of damage, and I was like, I was gonna do this anyway. But this makes it even funnier.
Isaiah, I see the numpad notation has still not sunken in. Left would be 4. Because the numpad is 9, so you disregard the 5 in the middle.
Yeah.
Left
I was thinking the D8 sort of.
Yeah.
I don't know. It felt weird to me to do.
That's how it would. 4 would be left.
Oh yeah, I guess yeah. If you're, I don't like that.
Although, I guess if you rolled a D8, it would come up at Here's the thing: if you're rolling a D8, it depends on if you're counting right to left, like if you're counting clockwise or counterclockwise. So actually,
yeah, counting clockwise would be 1, 2.
So you could hypothetically, are you starting from the top?
Yeah. All right. So it'd be a 7
1, 2,
position.
3, 4, 5. So 7 in that case. Yeah.
Oh, then I fucked that up. She definitely shouldn't have been hit by that fucking thing.
We will ignore this because of the funny.
You know what? Siffy, I'm real sorry about that.
Although, I'm going to be honest, Isaiah, that story I don't think is the same as you coming up with weird, wacky, woohoo shit using mundane items.
That's fair.
Because the you using wacky woohoo shit with mundane items was all right, we're going to take all the gold, put it in a sleeping bag, tie it up with ropes, and then use levitate to move it.
All right, listen, there was a lot of cooperation.
There's a lot of ideas going around there.
Collaborating there. It wasn't just him. There was a lot. What if we fill up the skull?
Yep. There's a lot going around.
Yeah, I mean, there was that. There was Operation Rocket Man, which is still probably my crowning achievement for destroying a GM's entire prep for one session. Probably probably like a month's worth of sessions if I'm being real. Yeah, I definitely told this story where Cardell set us up at the bottom of a mountain.
Yeah,
and we really didn't want to go up the mountain.
Yes.
Like we fought with our tooth and nail to not go up this mountain because we didn't want to do the side quest. And then he was like, as you look up the mountain, you see like a manticore and wyvern riders and Abishai and a fucking what are the four-legged drakes? Not this typical drake. What's it called? The oh no, Matt, you had it in your game. It was the pet.
Drake?
Is it just a drake? I thought it was something else. Oh no. It's gonna be haunting my nightmares.
It's just a drake, my guy.
It was in the 3-year game, they just had a pet drake.
Oh,
unless you mean guard drake.
Guard drake, yeah.
There's ambush drakes and then there are guard drakes.
Yeah, there's a bunch of those. So we cast Enlarge on our orc, and then we hit him with Jump and Fly and Long Strider and Haste and a lot. Our Chardalon, no, that came out recently. We hit him with as many movement spells as we could, and I did the math, and it was like, it wasn't breaking the sound barrier, but it was enough to move up like a few thousand feet in a minute, like enough to scale a mountain. And, I know Cardell deep in his soul probably still has never forgiven me for that one. Probably not, no.
I don't totally blame him for that, I'm gonna be honest.
That's, that is fair. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
Yes, Sam, do you have somewhere you want to take us in this adventure that
I don't even know. I
gone in a lot of directions.
We've gone in a lot of directions, that's kind of what I was hoping for. The chaos of just really fucking stupid shit,
Mm-hmm.
I will mention the meat cube story again. Killing 2 players with a single magical item that you didn't intend to kill them with. They just went. Well, 1 player rather, almost 2.
Almost 2.
Yeah, it could have been very, very quickly too. The bag ending is a great story. Thank you guys. Yeah. I think that a lot of people have come up with that story. To be fair, you can tear through the bag of holding on the other side. I just didn't do it.
Yeah, I recently read that because my players, they're befriending a monster that lives in their bag of holding. So, and it's like, it could escape, but it likes it. It likes in here, and the players keep feeding it.
Likes to be in there. We leave it open so that they can get some oxygen.
Yeah. I like it now that they send it, like as a joke, they send it off and they're like, hey, can you tell this other player who's on the other side of campus this one thing? And they'll just see like, other darkness in their bag with the 2 like lights for eyes. And then as the eyes kind of blink, it just turns into a normal backpack. And then the other player waking up, brushing their teeth, all of a sudden, fucking large talon hand wakes up with a little sticky note. And the other player, and they're like, oh god! It's like fighting the bag.
It's actually kind of amazing.
I wanted the bag to just grow legs and walk off, but I like the idea that the fucking the bagman just exists in utter darkness. Just a big hand comes out from under the bed and slaps him with a sticky note that says "Wake the fuck up."
It just lives in all my players' bags now. Just every single one.
I love this. I'm gonna use this someday.
It's great.
Oh no. I don't know if this counts. Hold on, I'm trying to remember exactly how it went because it was absolute nonsense. So, okay, yeah. There was a bit. So, you all know the time I was a guest player playing as the summoner wizard. And I was texted to be like, hey, Killian gave us this weird problem that we can't solve. Can you come in and break the game for us? And I was like,
the fuck?
It's fine. I'm not going to take that personally. So I jumped in, and they were like, yeah, because they were like, oh yeah, so this character was hit with like magic crystal shrapnel, and they're dying, and we can't take it out because it's like the weird adamantium spear from Hellboy too. You know what I'm talking about? Where it gets like bigger if you try to touch
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they're like, what do? And I was like, this is actually pretty simple. So what you want to do, right, is you want to cast Levitate on the person so they're off the ground. And then what you want to do is, because the shards are not being worn or carried, you want to cast Etherealness, which will make the person intangible. And because the shards aren't being worn or carried, therefore the shards should, in theory, just drop to the ground. So the person won't have the shards anymore. And then you drop the Etherealness, you heal the person, slap them with a Greater Resto, wake their ass up, and you're good. And they went, will that work? And Killian, the same guy as the fucking teleporty fucking nonsense, went, nope. I had this. This was supposed to be way more complicated, and now it's not. And I went, I'm sorry.
Nice.
So this is,
I mean, honest,
really is an MO for you, huh?
Yeah. It could have gotten worse, because the whole thing with the end of the game is that they were supposed to fight a giant like evil phoenix, and then he gave me he was like, here, you can pick one monster from the monster manual to summon for the fight. It's like a kaiju battle, and I was like, okay, cool. And I was gonna use the Colossus of Arcos, which, you know, heals when it takes fire damage, and I really wanted it. I was gonna. Every fiber of my being was like, shatter this encounter like an asshole. But I didn't, because I'm not an asshole all of the time. And I told him, I was like, hey, look, I'm not going to use the fucking Colossus. And he was like, why? Hold on, let me look at this character. You know what? Yeah, no, thank you for that. And I was like, yeah, bud, don't worry, I got you. I mean, I'm just a guest player. I wouldn't do that to you.
To be fair, him giving you carte blanche on that one probably was a miscalculation on his part, to say the least.
It was a miscalculation, but it was based, so like I made a bunch of checks that would determine the CR, and that like it just, I think our Arcos is 21, and it was like, okay, that's your cutoff.
I mean, sure, but still probably, still probably should have, I don't know, said you can't pick something that's fire immune or some shit.
Yeah, that is That is not an unfair thing to ask of somebody.
I mean,
you can't use a phoenix. Damn.
Yeah, right.
I wanted to see Firebird fight.
Or it's like, all right, cool, you picked the phoenix, but for some reason, neither of these phoenixes are immune to each other's fire. So here we go.
That would be neat. I actually like that.
They inexplicably can beat the shit out of each other, but only each other.
That's like the CR thing with the pit fighting, when Matt's like, listen, two barbarians fighting, each one has rage. This fight's gonna take forever. Let's just ignore rage, like the half damage thing, please, for love of God.
I don't think that he did the first fight with.
No, he didn't.
Didn't he?
He did not the first time.
What was his name? Kern?
Something like that.
Kern the Hammer.
Kern the Hammer? Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I remember that fight taking. It actually didn't take that long. It did take a while, but considering that it was just. Okay, roll 2d20.
Considering it was big meaty men slapping meat.
It was two big meaty men slapping meat, and it was always the same damage, because unarmed strikes, if you're not a monk, it's 1+ strength. It took forever. However, it was quite streamlined for something that took forever.
I mean, I think Mr. Mercer figured out in that scenario pretty quickly why you don't do that sort of thing in 5e without making some sort of homebrew rule situation. Because otherwise, it just becomes kind of a boring D20 fest. That's why 1v1 fights, not exciting. Not in a 5e style system.
I don't know. I've sort of seen it done a few ways. The one that I like the most is like the best of 3 duel, where 2 players roll a d20, and assuming you're at a roughly equal level and you have roughly equal stats, it really comes down to like the dice roll and the stuff you can put on top of your dice roll, like inspiration or having the duelist feat, and whoever rolls higher.
That's homebrewing.
I know it is. That's kind of why I'm explaining it.
No, I know, but I literally just said doing a 1v1 fight isn't interesting unless you do some kind of homebrewing. And then you just said, no, I don't think so. You can homebrew it. That's literally what I just said. I'm saying using the default rules.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
To 1v1 fight.
I mean, you could do the anime tournament, Yu Yu Hakusho shit if you really want to.
You can.
It's like, all right.
The thing about the rules are not really set up like the combat system is not for most turn-based like RPGs of that nature are not set up in such a fashion to like for 1v1 to work very well. So it's probably going to be a case where somebody gets like locked down or somebody just steamrolls the other person and just keeps doing the same thing that's going to keep working and the other person doesn't really have a response. You know, like it's going to be a lot of like the same shit over and over and over because you just have an optimal thing to do, and because there's no one else around to like influence the scenario, you can just keep doing the thing that keeps working.
Mm-hmm.
I feel
I don't know,
I'm just thinking of yesterday, Josh, with that one dude acting like a monkey in Street Fighter 6.
Don't bring that up.
Come on, it was so fucking
shit made me. Oh, I lost to a fucking fucking spammer ass noob, and it was one of those scenarios where the thing he was doing, I was like, oh, I know how to deal with this, but he just kept doing it so much that my brain was like, no, you need to do something else. But I really didn't need to do something else because he kept doing the same thing over and over and over. So it was like he played so stupid that I got stupid with him.
I understand.
Unbelievable. He literally forced an orb of confusion on
it was bad because he just kept doing, so he would just spam Hadouken at me, and then as soon as I got close enough, he would just jump in on me. So all I had to do was anti-air the man. But like, it was that thing where after the fourth jump in a row, I was like, well, surely he won't do it a fifth time. And then he did it a fifth time.
It just reminds me of run up grab 5 times in a row.
Yes, it's exactly the same thing. It's what Ant did. Yes, it's exactly what Ant did to me. Where I was like, well, surely he won't do it a 5th or 6th time.
and then he proceeded to do it.
Incorrect.
And then I really love the look. If you look at the recording of the video, you can see where it's just stopped.
It just stopped switching the control. That was fun. That man got me real tilted last night, and then I proceeded to play more Street Fighter and ended up lower ranked than I started, and I was just like, cool, guess I'll kill myself.
No, I didn't know that.
I played for like another 3 hours. It just kept getting worse, and I was like, cool, I'm in the fucking the toilet spiral. I know this feeling. I've been here before.
Buddy.
It's a thing where the more you play, the worse you get, because you're so fucking like you're just lost in the sauce.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
good times.
Wow.
That has nothing to do with D&D.
No, it has literally. I mean, listen. Are we a tabletop podcast, or are we 3 other podcasts in a trench coat called the Tabletop Podcast?
Yes.
I don't know.
Okay. So I did. This isn't stupid shit, but I did pull up some notes of magic items that I was like, yeah, I'll make that one day. Deck of many veggies. It's like a deck of many things, but it just spawns vegetables.
Nice.
What? Okay, no. So usually Sam's dumbass ideas are spawned by a dumbass thought that someone else had. So I need to know what moron came up with that.
I'm pretty sure it was me. I'm pretty sure I was like, what's a way to get someone to be like, oh, I have a deck of many things, I can do the funny thing, and then it just
spawns a cucumber on them, and they just like,
wait a minute.
Stare at that. Oh god. There's also Schrodinger's barrel. It's a barrel that doesn't exist unless the players are observing it.
Wasn't that my thing? Didn't I talk about Schrodinger's barrel?
I think so. It's just so fucking funny.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it was, because it's when we were playing fucking Avernus, and Josh had the weird artifact, or I had the weird artifact where I could see the barrel, but it wasn't there anymore. But Josh couldn't see it, so he was like, Isaiah, are you fucking blind? What do you mean there's a fucking barrel there? And I was like, bro, there's a barrel. Don't gaslight me like this.
No, I think the better gaslighting event was when Isaiah saw an NPC on the map that everyone else was like, "That's not there, bro. What are you talking about?"
Having a meltdown.
Y'all don't. I was actually getting tilted because I thought you were actually gaslighting me, and I was like, "No, fuck you guys.
No.
There's something there. I literally see it."
Or when we did the workshop.
I don't know what you're talking about.
When we did the workshop watches one shot on fucking Roll20, and one of the NPCs, the position didn't update. So it was Cardell. He moved his character past, and he was like, "Do I get an attack of opportunity?" I was like, "No, you're still in his threat range." And he's like, "But I moved over here." And I'm like, "Yeah, you're still just." And we must have gone back for 5 minutes before I was like, "Wait a minute, what do you see on your screen?" Because on his screen, the NPC was like one square down, so he moved out of his attack range. But on my screen, he was one square up, so he's still within his attack range.
Oh, that happens all the time.
Oh, fuck, it was funny.
You would think, right? Because this has happened to us maybe 5 or 6 times in totality.
Too many times.
At some point, you would think one of us go, "Okay, wait, share screenshots."
Yeah.
It never has. Just never. Just nothing.
Refresh your page.
Eventually,
Yeah.
we get.
Literally.
Eventually, we get to that point. We just, it takes a couple of minutes.
Some hoops.
Yeah, it takes.
You
us a few
basically.
minutes.
It turns into the like, why are you looking for clothes at the soup store?
Yes.
Like,
Yeah. Exactly.
That's exactly what it turns into.
I also have Fuckbringer, but it's Fuckburger because it's a knuckle weapon, so it only goes over the 4 knuckles. So you only get 4 letters. It's just here. I'll type it out.
This man out here doing the fucking cloudy with a chance of meat smells. The
Flint din defer.
It's
The
just
fuck
like
burger.
The fuck burger. Ew, I don't like the way that sounds.
Just a monk weapon. And then there's I know this one came up when we were playing something. I don't remember specifically what, but it explodes into snakes. It's just a quarterstaff, and when you hit something, you can cause it to explode into snakes.
I'm still mad that they only put that in Volos, and now Volos is gone. Like, fuck you, wizard. Just make it a spell or make it a magic item.
It used to be a spell. There was a spell called Sticks to Snakes.
Sticks to Snakes.
Yeah.
It's my favorite D&D spell ever.
They only gave it to you on T.
It's literally just, I'm a cleric.
You just throw a stick and it becomes a snake.
Now it's a snake.
And how did me and Sam discover that spell? Playing that weird Shadows of Mystara beat 'em up D&D game.
It's a fucking great
That's how we discovered
beat 'em
that
up
one.
game, and I'm pretty sure that's a biblical reference, and that's why clerics have
Probably.
it. But
Probably.
I mean, it's Moses. Yeah,
Actually,
he made his staff into a snake, but it's just,
Still funny.
still really funny, and just the idea, just like, hey wizard, so you hit him. With your quarterstaff. The quarterstaff explodes into snakes. What do you do?
it's like, my what?
the what? My what exploded into what?
Going back to the deck of many vegetable.
Oh God, that's stupider when you said it again.
What do you? What are you guys' thoughts on like the deck of many things, just as a magic item in general? Because I told you I got it in Joe's like Around the World in 80 Days campaign for a little bit, and I do have like a kind of like special place in my heart for it just because of how fucking nuts it is. But it is like a campaign destroyer. Like
I think it is so fucking stupid that this item exists, but I also think it's hilarious that it exists. Like, it's such an in-between for me. It's like, yeah, my players can just destroy the campaign if they like roll a specific way, but also do it, coward.
Also, they can get a +2 to any stat. Crazy.
Crazy, but they could also just die.
Oh, or just die.
Honestly, I don't know what to think about it, because on one end, he who random funny times, but also like this is nowhere near an original thought. Its ability to just derail the game to the point where you're like, well, what do we do now? Is like definitely a real thing you got to watch out for.
Oh yeah.
Embrace the chaos. Let the darkness into your heart.
Look, the only one allowed to destroy people's work as a DM is me, not random tables.
Yeah, I mean, that is, yeah, you know what? Good point, Isaiah. Way to be a giant hypocrite. But anyway, look, if you're gonna give it to your players, embrace the chaos, whatever happens, and just be prepared to go from there. And if you don't want to deal with it, don't give it to your players.
Right. I mean, because it's not a full.
Just give it to your level 3 players. Let them summon the Avatar of Death.
Shrimple.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's like they don't find the full deck whenever they find it. It's like there are a couple of cards missing, which is like it gives the DM a little bit of leeway to like kind of pick and choose what they want. They're like, all right, I'll take the big like campaign destroying cards out, and maybe 1 or 2 cards I don't want the players to have like instant level up or some, I don't know, whatever. It gives you a little bit of wiggle room, but not a whole lot.
I mean, yeah, sure, but like honestly, I feel like if you're gonna bring an item like that into your game, that hey, we're back on topic. Sam talking about weird items ruining games or causing things to happen. I think you just gotta give it to your players and sort of be prepared at a moment, like at any point, like. I know I gave this to my players, so I have to be ready for something insane to happen, and I have to be flexible enough to deal with the insane thing. And if you're really, really not willing to do that, then like don't even tempt it. Because you might talk yourself into it and be like, oh, but they could just get like +2 to a stat. It's like, yeah, they could. Or they could go to, the Astral Sea. It's like,
or they could be killed by the Avatar of Death, or their soul could literally be ripped from their bodies.
So it's like, put it in there, and you know what? If you wanna like allow your players to use it, but you want to control the chaos a little bit, then just say to your players, hey, tell me when you're gonna use the deck, or only use the deck at the end of session. Like, just have the social contract of like, do not use this until the end of session. That way, if something normal happens, no biggie. If something crazy happens, I have the time to prepare and prep whatever I could respond to the crazy. Don't do it at the beginning of a session. And if your players ignore that, then, they're being poop.
What happens. I mean, because there's that cool improv, like, reaction on the DM's part of like, I get it, because if anybody hasn't watched, there's the I forgot what it's called, but it's when the players fight each other in Matt's game. It's the second one where Grog pulls 5 cards out. Ooh. It's like my favorite scene in Critical Role ever. Jesus. And each one, like, there was a couple of negatives, but like, just Matt Mercer reacting. I think the best one was when he pulled the one that summoned the level 4 fighter. That was a Goliath. He's just like, I'll protect you, my liege. He's just like, all right, we're fighting a dragon. The level 4 guy's like, a dragon.
I mean, it is worth mentioning too. Like, how are there? I don't think that many of the things in the deck are that campaign destroying anyway, right? Like,
I know it's literally 50-50, I think.
Don John literally puts you in an extra dimensional sphere. That character is gone.
Yeah, unless you can claim
Avatar of Death can just kill you.
Yeah, I thought that.
And like you can't be restored to life. Void literally rips your soul from your body and throws it into a random place.
Right, but like, what's the ratio?
I think it's literally 50-50.
Let's see.
Of like campaign destroyers.
Vizier is good. Sun is good. Moon is good. Star is good.
Well, actually, it's for game destroying. It's probably 25%.
Good.
That's kind of what I'm saying. Like, yeah,
Bates is good. This is 6 out of what, 22.
Yeah.
Yeah. Throne is good. That's 7, but that can literally derail the campaign. Key gives you a rare or rarer magic weapon.
Derailing counts. Derailing counts as a problem.
Knight gives you just a guy.
Pretty funny. Level 4 fighter is pretty funny.
So that's 9. That's good. Gem is good because it just gives you money. So that's 10. Talon, it just fucking destroys everything you own.
Every magic item you wear or carry
that's the thing, though,
disintegrates.
right? So that's rough, but like the campaign goes on.
It goes on, but like, bruh, imagine you're kitted up and you're like, all right, guys. We're at the end of the campaign. Draws it, talons, everything disappears. You're in your undies now.
Oh yeah, you're gonna be real sad. But like,
that includes the deck, I think, because the deck's
probably
the deck is a magic item, so it just goes.
Yeah, the only way to not get fucked with that is you have to take everything you're wearing off and hand the deck to someone else, and you have to draw from their hand the deck. Because if you summon the Avatar of Death, you're probably going to be like,
you're just fucked at that point.
Yeah, exactly. Like, here's the thing, right? You summon the Avatar of Death. The Avatar of Death can only deal about 2d8 damage a round, assuming it hits. Because it only got 1 attack per round. So it's 2d8. If you're high enough level, that's fucking bitch numbers. You're good. Now.
Yeah, but like, Avatar of Death is only a problem if you're not above level 10.
Right.
Really.
Yep.
Anyway. Because like it has half your hit points and it has an AC of 20. You're not going to be able to outrun it, but like.
Yeah, it's not the Reaper from Persona.
No. And I believe if someone else tries to fight it, it just spawns another one.
And then, yep.
So if you, but I don't believe it's a recursive thing. So fucking, Grug Strongjong the Barbarian fights his Avatar of Death and murks the shit out of it, which he probably will. Then he can murk the shit out of yours, and then you're good.
Yeah. Well, I told you about the time I 1v1 mine, and that sucked.
Idiot is just hilarious because you lose 2 to 5 intelligence.
That was very funny.
Flames just makes a devil is now your enemy. They just like, hey, you'll fuck that guy in particular and try to ruin your life. Which could be campaign destroying if your DM is just like, hey, literally everything around you is going wrong and it's that guy's fault.
Yeah.
What are you guys all so for? Have you met Garion? Michael.
Donjon is, again, you just get yeeted into an extra dimensional sphere. All of your shit is gone, and if you can't be found through divination magic. God, brain just real shit the bed right there.
But a wish spell.
A wish can tell you where it is.
What the fuck?
And you're just gone.
Yeah,
Bye.
It seems like a lot of these aren't necessarily campaign destroying, which I think is
ruin is
So basically everything but magic items was destroyed.
I'm sorry. Ruin. Businesses, buildings, and land you own are lost in a way that alters reality the least.
So the building just disappears.
No, not the orphanarium. No.
Oh god, the orphans.
Reale just makes you take -2 penalty to saving throws while cursed. Only a god or the magic of the fates card can end this curse. That's just ruining the character. Just kill yourself now. Rogue, a non-player character of the DM's choice, becomes hostile towards you. That means that like the DM could be like your favorite companion. The person that's been helping the group all the time honestly, now just hates that guy. And like that one's just kind of like the DM can fuck with you.
Yeah, here's the thing. The vibe I'm getting from a lot of these is that they're not necessarily going to destroy a campaign. They'll like shift the tone or whatever, or boost a character up, or they'll fuck pretty badly with a single character. But like, it seems like most of these you can move on, So I say
Void and Donjon are like the ones that are like
it's campaign ruining for the player.
One player, I mean that character you maybe just say fuck it to. But here's the thing: if you're the player drawing from the deck, then you gotta know that's on the table.
Well, it's hilarious because you lose 10,000 experience and then you draw again.
Yeah. I mean, I did just see the sun. You gain 50,000 XP and a wondrous item randomly appears in your hands. You know, that's kind of wacky woo, but like
you just get another deck of many things.
Yeah, right.
Oh no!
But like, you know, it seems like most of these are pretty bearable to deal with. So quite frankly, I think people have over exaggerated the like terrors of the deck.
I believe they were far worse back in the day.
Oh, I'm sure they were
also
worse back
usually
in the day.
give deck of many things to like newer, lower level players, and it's just like, well, what do we do? Like,
yeah,
we as a level 3 player did not pay attention to the fact that the Avatar of Death is probably going to be well out of my kill range at level 3.
Yeah. What do we do? Explode.
But also, when the Avatar of Death kills you, they just peace out. Like, bye.
Yeah, but like you're dead. Like that character.
Yeah, that character's dead, but like, you know, whatever.
Uriala is very funny though. Like just, hey, you take -2 to all saving throws ever.
That's rough, but you could play that way.
What? You could, but it's just like
you could play. It's just rough,
bruh.
Yeah.
What we like to call hardcore mode.
I mean, it's not like that's not so bad that you're like unusably fucked. You know?
Yeah.
At lower levels, it's going to be a little meaner, but you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, at lower levels, you're probably looking at negatives.
Yeah.
Also, some of those cards are only available in the full 22 decks.
Yeah. It's the ones that have
the worst ones are literally only in the 22.
Right. Yeah.
The Vizier, the Fates, Comet.
So, yeah, quite frankly, at this point,
idiot.
Fucking screw it. Just give your fucking players the deck. It's not a big deal. Just deal with it. That's what I say.
What could possibly go wrong at Magic School?
Yeah, exactly.
You're gonna give your players the deck, Matt?
It's funny, wacky woohoo times.
I think you should, Matt. I think you should record.
I mean, it would honestly fit a Magic School game.
Plus, hey, you know what? You're rocking up, and you're like, man, I don't know if I totally have like an idea, you know, or not that I don't have a plan, but if you're feeling like the campaign is, you know, it needs a little spice up or something. Yeah, you throw the deck out and go, let's see. Maybe it'll give me an idea. Maybe it won't.
Kind of in the same vein of the deck of many things, there's this magic item that came out in Tasha's, the Teeth of Dalnar. Yeah, I really love this magic item, and I want to use it so bad, both as a player and as a DM.
I have not heard.
It's like you can either
draw a tooth.
Yeah, it's like a bag of teeth. You can either put the tooth in your mouth or you can plant it, and depending on what you do, it gives you different effects.
Yeah.
So like if you like,
I'm sorry, the staring cats of Nine Cats just get summoned.
Yeah,
9 cats, or you summon a commoner.
That's one of like the summons are pretty funny. It's like you summon one dude.
My family eating dinner.
Yep.
Why am I in a cave now?
Yep.
It's like what do I want? Do I want to have Sanctuary on myself for an entire day,
or Steve,
or do I want to just summon a bruh?
Yeah,
like just random Jack.
Hey bud, what's your name? Fred. What were you doing before this? Eating dinner. Oh, that's a shame.
Oh, no. I just see one that says you can summon one of Afridi, and now I'm just thinking about Django planting the tooth
just to go beat the Afridi's ass.
Yeah, he just summons it. Give me your skin.
And see, the other thing I think is cool, like you don't have to have like the bag. You could just pick one of these teeth and just give it to a player, and just like there you go. Like there's so much shit they can do with this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also, like, it's horrifying. It's like, oh, do I want to give my player a Mind Flare tooth? Also, I didn't know Mind Flare had teeth. Horrifying.
Well, they're squid, so
yeah, they have to. How else do they eat the brains?
True.
Also, you know, you could just, you know, I know Wizards hasn't given you permission, but if you want, you could just look through all the cards in the deck of many things and just comprise a deck of things that you're willing to deal with.
Yeah. I mean, that's what, isn't that the Matt Colville video where he's like, you know,
just pick and choose.
He's like, you could just like choose what they're going to get. Yeah. And then you just put it on the top of the deck.
Just pick and choose.
And it's like, it makes it seem like they pulled.
Well, I'm not saying literally decide what they draw. I'm just saying reduce the number of potential cards down to only the ones you're willing to deal with and then let them draw. But you could also just pick it, but I don't want to. Here's the thing. Just picking it ruins my fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so I still want them to pick
No, I'm
something.
just saying that that's an option.
It is,
If
but
like
that's the least
a newer
fun
DM
option.
doesn't want to like.
Well, a newer DM probably shouldn't give their players the deck of many things at all, TBH. I think it's,
Shouldn't,
it's one of those things, like, there are certain things in the game, they're not labeled as such, and I don't even know how you would do it, but there are certain things in the game that it's like not. It's almost like they should have a little sign that says, this is not to be used by newer DMs. Don't use this unless you're confident or experienced, you know?
Yeah.
Like, there's just certain things.
I actually use sometimes the XP to level 3 PDF he gave out, where it's like the magic item tier lists. And it's like, what is classified as a rare item, but it is actually like a legendary item, or what is an uncommon item that you should definitely not give your level 1 players, no matter how much they ask. Like, and some of them on there are like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, because you don't realize how potentially powerful they are, or what kind of you don't realize the ramifications necessarily.
Like cloak of what's the displacer cloak?
Oh yeah.
How the fuck is that a rare magic item, Wizards of the Coast? What the fuck is wrong with you?
I mean, but here's the thing though, that one isn't gonna destroy your game. That's just gonna make one player
it's just annoying. Oh yeah.
It's just gonna be one beefy boy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's just certain things as a newer DM that I almost feel like it should be labeled as like for experienced players only. And the deck of many things is one of those. Like, if you're a new DM, don't
hand that out.
Unless you're a fucking chaos goblin, in which case you do you, bro.
Hell yeah,
go
bro.
crazy.
No fucks to give, even if I tried.
Yeah, if you just completely apathetic to the whims of the dice, then go for it, bud.
Yeah, I'm looking at the XP PDF. He has so it's like, white is fine, then yellow, then orange, and then red is no zone. And basically, deck of many things, a freebie bottle, ring of 3 wishes, all like red, glowing,
don't give your new players wish. That's just no.
Yeah.
You know what you can do? Give them a coin of decisionery.
The fuck does that do?
It's basically just a magic 8 ball that's a coin.
Yeah. Oh. I think it's from the Ack Inc book.
Yep. Yeah. It's just a coin you can flip.
Yep.
And at first it doesn't actually give you any it really just is a magic 8 ball. But then as you rank up, it's like, this is actually giving me good advice. Maybe. Do I trust my gut, or do I trust the 8 ball? Yeah, I mean, you have to make the check, but
You know what's fascinating? You would think that me, of all people, would want pretty much as soon as physically possible to get the wish spell. And I can say I've never really wanted it.
No?
No, I've never really been like, God, you know what? I would want a wish spell, and then I would do this, and then I would do never. Just never. I don't know. You'd think, because I'm the guy where it's like I'm just gonna use semantics to do what I want. But no, just never had it.
I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't really care for the wish spell in general. Wait,
but this coming from the guy who wants to do anything. Well, actually, no, wait, that's Josh. I'm sorry. It's literally that, but that's the spell. It's the I can do anything spell.
Yeah, but I want to be able to cast the do anything regularly. That's very different. This is, I want to make the spell that does the thing that I want. Not, I get to cast wish maybe once or twice in my lifetime, and it does the one thing that I wanted to. It's a very big difference.
Yeah, true. I just gotta be the new sorcerer when that comes out.
I'd probably just wish for something dumb, like let me concentrate on more than one spell at a time.
No.
Give me a little goblin companion that casts spells for me.
Yeah, nice. That too.
I think, and this is
lives in my hat.
For the 3-year game. I think Joe, when he got to 20th level, he casted it 3 or 4 times.
That is very lucky. Wait,
yeah.
And he used the full wish?
I gave he basically, they hit level 20. This was at the end of the campaign, right before they were going to go fight the big bad. And so I'm like, I gave them a certain amount of downtime for the big fight. And so he's like, all right, we have this many weeks. I'm going to try to cast Wish once, those weeks. Cause I think it has a week time limit if you do something other than cast an 8th level spell.
Yes.
and he managed to get like 4 wishes before he rolled below the level, and you can't cast it in ever again.
Isn't it only a week if you succeed, right?
Yeah. That's what I mean. So he got it 4 times in a row before.
God damn.
Failing. Yeah.
Wild enough.
Yeah, seriously, that's what I was saying. What the? That's what I was saying. I don't know what I said previously. Mumbled that. It is a funny thing that this is. Wish sort of comes with the same unspoken connotation of the like. Technically, a natural 20 on a skill check does not mean you can do whatever. Like you can automatically succeed.
I was thinking of divine intervention, but yeah, wish to.
That too. Well, because wish, it very specifically says you can just wish for something and then the DM says no to you. It's like too stupid. Well, divine intervention is a little different because like ultimately the GM decides them damn self who like what exactly happens.
Yeah, I mean the thing about it, I don't. Does it say you could literally just say no?
Yeah, it just said it could just not work.
Yeah, I mean, wish and divine intervention. I think. I think the way to handle those, since especially on the topic of like potentially ruining campaign with wacky woohoo thing, which I think is kind of really where we've landed with this discussion, less so than about magical items or otherwise. I mean, specifically.
It was kind of the idea.
You gotta like, I don't want to say compromise necessarily, but you need to figure out what the like I guess compromise is the word. You gotta kind of figure out the reasonable middle ground with this shit, because yeah, you could tell your player no if they wish for something too stupid, but I feel like it's much better to try and go, okay, no, you can't be king of the entire universe, however, maybe you can be on the council of the lords of the universe or something, like try and figure out those like as I was saying, the natural 20 doesn't mean you could do anything, but you kind of want to give them something. But also don't be a salty player, and if your DM just says, if your GM is like, no, you can't have that crazy ludicrous thing you just asked for that is a crazy and ludicrous thing, then like don't be surprised and or salty when they try and like reel it back a little bit,
Yeah, if you wish to succeed on every on every check, saving, throw, and attack you ever make, and the GM goes, yeah. Understand that you're probably a goober for asking for that in the first place.
Yeah, well, with that particular question, I as the GM might go, well, I'm not going to give you that, but maybe I'll give you like some sort of ability that you can spend to auto succeed on a check X number of days or something, like that would be where I would try to meet in the middle on that one, because it's the improv joke. You want a yes and or no but, right? This is where the no buts come in.
Nope.
But
no, go for it.
Yeah, it's yeah, I don't know. Honestly, it's one of those things where it's like bad DMs not even just bad DMs, bad players and bad players and bad DMs, just bad everybody. Human beings being shitheads ruin it for everyone a lot of the time, because a lot of games are not willing or kind of scared to put this kind of like, if D&D was being made with the current team and Wish was not something that existed prior, it probably wouldn't be in the game, because they would be too afraid to put something as ridiculous as Wish in the game, because shitheads ruin the fun. Like, this is why we can't have nice things, and shitheads ruin the fun for everyone. So yeah, if you're one of those people who like looks at Wish and is like, how can I destroy the campaign? It's like, fuck you, you're the problem. Or if you're asking for something ridiculous, like, come on, you're the fucking problem. You know what I mean? You gotta be reasonable. Like, don't ruin it for everybody else, because that's what happens. This shit happens in video games all the time too. Oh, what's this cool, fun, powerful thing we found? Oh, no, we're not allowed to have that fun because some asshole used it to like destroy the economy of the game. Cool, never mind. You're like,
or what was that? What was that? Ice axe and Frost Stomp or some shit. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like, look, I could just cheese every single encounter in this fucking game. Well, that thing
was just like ludicrously OP. That was kind of an overlook, but yeah, similar vibe.
What is it? you'll have my moon veil and my moon veil and my moon veil.
Yeah.
Very funny.
So annoying, especially because, in a tabletop game, powers like Wish and Divine Intervention really are the kind of thing that you can only do in a tabletop game. They really exemplify I say this shit all the time. Lean into the strength of your medium. If you're doing an animated movie, lean into the fact that you can overdo exaggerations, you can push expressions, you can push crazy color palettes. If you're doing a live, traditional live action movie, lean into the fact that you can really get something out of like actor performances and ad libs and shit. When you're getting into the, if you're doing a video game, one of the things you can lean into is like control scheme and like tone, like feel of like stuff like menuing and like hit stopping and shit, stuff you could really like fine tune. In the tabletop space, lean into the fact that you have this all powerful, limitless decision engine that is the human brain. Like, I don't know how to phrase it, but you have this like infinite possibility machine that is 5 human brains sitting at a table bouncing off each other. So spells like Wish and Divine Intervention are really fun because they lean into the medium. So yeah, lean into them and use them, but don't be the one asshole at the table who ruins it for everyone else.
Seems like a thing that people are just going to continue to do for the rest of their lives because.
Oh, I know people will, but I'm trying to discourage as much as I'm trying to be the energy you want in the world.
I understand, but I've dealt with too many people exploiting random things in video games to get it completely nerfed into oblivion.
It's
like the amount of times that I don't know, Blitz has had an issue, or fucking Jaeger and Siege, where it's just like they just do wild things. Woohoo! They're just like, all right, well now we have to nerf the character because or remove a character from the game. I mean that's still hilarious, but like it's like people can't be trusted.
No, it's actually true. But it's one of those things where again, another benefit of the medium or the hobby is in the tabletop space. If the people can't be trusted, you just remove them from your table. It's got a very good self cleaning system.
So Matt, if I was a player in your game, theoretically, what would it take for me to get a mech suit? A magic mech suit?
There is that one from, was it Lost Mines of Kowalsh?
Yeah, the armor of Luco.
Power armor. Yeah. I think it actually is literally just called power armor.
Oh no, yeah, there's that, but I mean like.
Oh, you talk about the thing from Tasha?
No, he wants a Gundam.
No, not a Gundam. Not 20 meter tall mech. 10 meter tall mech.
Okay, so like
give me like a 5 meter tall mech.
You want like a space marine in mech form.
I want like
he wants to pilot a transformer.
I more like Diva's thing.
Oh yeah.
I want that.
Well,
I want to play a gnome and get that.
I was gonna say you had the idea of playing the armor artificer as that, and I didn't tell you no.
No, you didn't tell me no, but I liked playing literal Iron Man a little bit more.
I guess.
Would have been a very different campaign.
Yeah.
It would have been a different character, that's for sure.
I'm trying to find it because it's an item that came out in Tasha's that's actually really
the mighty
cool.
servant of Luco. Yeah.
I mean, honestly,
Matt, he doesn't want anything official.
Oh, he doesn't. Oh,
no, Matt, he wants wacky woohoo times.
No. See, I want the mighty. I want that thing, but like, I don't know. I guess that thing works, but
what?
I don't know. I can't think of anything else, but something.
This is that where the player comes to DM with the idea. All right, DM gives them something, but you have to meet them halfway.
Yeah, I want this thing, but with like 20 cylinder rocket pods on it or some shit.
I mean, real talk, if you want to do crazy fantasy mech suit thing, something along the lines of this item, I think probably the easiest way to do it is to, here you go, Isaiah, here's a great Gundam analogy for you. You do a Barbados with it. where it starts out as a junky piece of shit, and then you slowly upgrade it over time to keep up and make it.
I was gonna say
cool.
somewhere like if they spend the time and resources to build it, it's like you can have it.
Yeah,
but it's gonna take a long fucking time, unfortunately. But
granted,
it's doable.
It would be a little bit more of a pain in the ass with D&D or with 5e as it is, but definitely like if you were like, I would like to build a weird automaton suit in like blades, I'd be like, all right. Let's discuss how that would work, because
that would be so fucking cool to do in Blade. Like it'd be like you'd use like ghosts to power it or some shit.
Right, yeah, exactly. It'd be ghost powered. So it's
so
like
sick.
There's not only is there precedent in the setting, but also there's rules and mechanics to utilize for that kind of thing. So it's like
mechs are just fucking cool.
Yeah,
throw them a Danny game.
But yeah, I think the compromise on that level of wacky woohoo item, because that is crazy, is start. Yeah, you have to sort of start with it a lot simpler and build it up over time.
I'm okay with that.
And also, quite frankly, if you're gonna do something like that, I don't know. I almost want to say if your character's thing is gonna be the weird mech suit, then your character is a more proficient like commoner, and the mech is like the class almost.
That would be cool. I would love that as a class. It's never going to happen officially, but if someone knows a good, not D&D homebrew wiki version.
Yeah,
this just reminds me of my character trying to make himself a combat suit in Stars Without Number.
Yeah.
I literally it was more akin to the Gantz combat suits, but it's just one of those things like, oh man, I'm really bad at combat and all my friends are really good.
That would be,
I should probably do something about it.
Yeah. Well, that would be, I think, how you could make something like that reasonable, right? Where it's like, okay, cool, you get your crazy mech suit, but like your character is a commoner with like good stats. Meaning, if you don't have the mech suit, you're gonna be in real big trouble, bud.
You have more than 4 HP, but not much more.
Right? Yeah, exactly. You could literally do a thing where it's like, you give them like a D4 on a level up, or maybe even less. Maybe you give them like a D2 of health on a level up or something. You know what I mean? There's totally ways you could do it, and like they don't have anything particularly fancy on their sheet or anything like that. Yeah. This would be a lot of work. This would be a
borderline unreasonable amount of work. Yeah.
Well,
I was just sort of asking a dumb question to fill the time.
Well, it would be the kind of thing where you could do it, but definitely the workload, you really got to spread out between the player wanting to do it and the DM. You got to work together on it. I think that'd be a big part of it. Definitely don't just say, hey, GM, give me a mech suit, and then like walk away.
Yeah,
because then your
you can also treat it like the manual of golems, where it takes like 90 days most of the time, or 120 days or some shit.
What?
Well, unfortunately, the manual of golem ones is like, that's unfortunately where you get to the point of like, this is literally too much work.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So the Tower of Golems, it's like a book that lets you make. It's like the item you need technically to make a golem in 5e. But it's like it takes 90 days. Yeah. It takes like 90 days of continuous work, which means like you can't. I don't believe you can work on it for a while and then stop. Like you have to spend the full.
You have to spend the full time. So like a clay golem takes 30 days, flesh golem takes 60. Stone takes 90, and then an iron golem takes 120. And then each one has a different price point of like, 65k, 50k, 100k, 80k. Yeah.
Okay, I see. I mean,
which is like, this is using the normal rules of like making magic item downtimes. It's this is a magic item that allows you to do this.
I get it. That comes into that problem where you need to figure out and like give the players downtime and stuff. It is funny, there's so many things in 5e that the culture, it feels like the culture has shifted to I don't know quite how to. The culture has shifted to a thing where it's like, we're going to follow these characters basically every single day of their life, and we're going to follow a fairly short time period, and they're going to do wacky, crazy shit within that short time period, and then we're done, you know? And it's become like a, I don't know, and I don't know how to put it, but like back in the day, there was a lot more of an assumption that like the characters go on a big quest into the dungeon, right? When dungeon fucking was more of the focus. The characters go on the big quest into the dungeon. They do the Caves of Chaos. They come back. They don't go back into another dungeon for like a while, you know? Like they sit around for 2 or 3 months resting on all the money they just made. You know what I mean? Like that was sort of how the assumption used to go. But nowadays I feel like because we're doing this kind of heroic anime, crazy, like power fantasy jaunt thing, people don't assume there's going to be like this downtime space. So the game has shifted away from it, but there's still stuff in 5e like the Manual of the Clay Golems that assumes you're going to have like a huge amount of downtime. And so people are like not
they're not using any of this stuff.
They're not using it and they don't know what to do with it.
Right.
You know,
I know with Strixhaven because I talked to my players about this, that like Strixhaven, I'm treating it more like an episodic like TV show where it's like, you know, we're not following the players every fucking day. There's like downtime and you guys have classes and work and shit.
Right.
We're coming in on the important bits or like major shit that's happening or side quests, whatever.
That's how XP to level 3, their Strixhaven campaign, he said the same vibe. He's like, basically every time we're zooming back in on the characters, it's probably been like a month or so.
Something like that,
And it leaves, it really is, in a lot of ways, it also makes a lot of sense if you think about the D&D character. Like, if you think of D&D characters not as fantasy superheroes, right? Which is what they are these days with 5e and 4e to a lot of degrees. If you think about the D&D characters as opportunistic adventurers working a really dangerous job, if you think of them as pirates, basically, right? If you think about D&D characters as pirates, what did pirates do? They went out, sailed for a really long time until they found a ship to fuck up and raid. They did their thing, raided the ship, took all the loot, and then they dicked around in port for like months until they ran out of money. And then they went, oh, we don't have any money left. All right, back onto the ship, boys. You know, and if you think about D&D characters in that sense, a lot of the downtime stuff makes way more sense.
Yeah, because you could treat it like if you know, one of the biggest problems people have in D&D is travel. They're like, oh, what do I do with travel? They have to get from point A to point B, and point B is way the fuck across the map. Why not treat it like downtime? They're traveling, they're walking. If you want to throw in a combat encounter, you can, but like, why not? They're on the road. They're not doing anything besides travel. Like fucking,
you know what the problem with the travel stuff is?
How long travel is.
It does depend on how long, but the other problem is the reason people feel like they need to do shit for travel is because the game does tell you to do shit for travel. There are rules for travel. There is a class. There's an entire class that has a bunch of benefits around travel. Like, there's a bunch of stuff that the game tells you should interact with travel. So then people go, what do I do? You know what I mean?
Hell, if you look at the fucking, Avernus has rules for travel. Gives you literally a car. Curse of Strahd has specific encounters that can only happen during travel.
Yep. Same thing.
And like leads you to, you know, specific things. And it's like, okay,
it's like, so what are you gonna do?
This happens, but like,
are you gonna look at your ranger player and go, hey, that ability you have that like makes traveling easier? We're just gonna ignore that. That don't matter.
I mean, if you look at Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, it kind of does.
It kind of does, yeah. I know. Well, but technically, that's an optional thing.
I'm really struggling with that right now because my players are level 14, soon to be level 15, and I just can't figure out like how to not make, oh, you're fighting bandits on the road again. It's just like like the players are so powerful now. And their car is so powerful that it would just be like a 3 turns and anything I can throw at them dies.
So here's the thing. In that scenario, right? If the travel, because I actually had to think about this for our game. This didn't end up coming up because I sort of changed the tone of the campaign because I realized I wasn't doing what I had originally planned. Yet again, I've talked about this many times where I do the thing. I don't do the thing I planned. Because originally the tone of our current campaign, I was going to have you guys do a lot more traveling stuff. And what my plan was this is kind of video gamey, but it works, is if you're in an area where you're so ludicrously higher level and more powerful than the shit that you would run into, you just the monsters just run away from you or ignore you, or we just skip ahead, right? So I actually have the Witherlands chopped up into like low level area, mid level area, super dangerous area. And my plan was, once you guys got after, like, let's say you guys are level 10, getting from like the runoff district area to a little bit out into the low level area, I was basically just going to ignore random encounters because you guys are so strong that, yeah, you would just completely dunk on anything that's way lower level than you. So, you know, and the fictional justification is, oh, the monsters just don't deal with you, or like, oh, you just kill them so fast it's not even worth focusing on, or, you know, there's all sorts of ways you could justify it. And a lot of video games do this. I think the Yakuza games one, I want to say the Yakuza games do this, where once you get over a certain threshold, certain enemies will like run away from you or ignore you. I know in Street Fighter 6 in the World Tour mode, if you're up to a certain level, when you run past dudes who are way lower level than you, like 20 something lower levels, they like cower in fear of you as you run past because it's really fucking annoying in Street Fighter 6 to like some level 4 goon punches you in the nads, then you have to be like, engage, and then you punch him twice and he dies. And it's just an annoying waste of time. So at a certain threshold, they realize that, so the enemies just ignore you. So I think that's honestly the way to do it. So for your usage, Isaiah, this is not the topic at all, but here we are. For your usage, Isaiah, I think what you should do is, if the players are running through an area where it's like, all right, reasonably, most likely they're only going to deal with like wandering bandit dudes or like little tiny on-kegs that they could just run over with the car, then just don't bother. Right? Just don't have them bother. Just narrate, oh, you run into this, you deal with it X, Y, and Z way. If you want to have them interact with a little bit, you could say like, oh, you run into bandits, how do you deal with the problem? And like point to a specific player and just ask them or whatever. You know, if you want to have, or maybe make a roll or two if you want, whatever. If you want them to like take a little bit of damage or something like that, say like, all right, each of you make a roll. If half of you fail, you're going to take some damage. If half of you succeed, you won't, blah, blah, blah. You know, you can do stuff like that if you want to, but don't have them do a full blown fight if it's just more bandit dudes that they're going to fuck up, especially because
that's exactly what my problem is too, right? Is I don't mind them dunking on some low level bandits because it feels good, right? To just one shot things.
Well, yeah, but you can also
to a certain point.
Narratively, though, it also feels good for your GM to be like, yeah, you come across 5 dudes and you crush them. You know, like, that's still pretty good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think people like seeing number go bigger, so they want to actually hit buttons.
Well, that's why I'm saying you could throw in some rolls to, like, represent the conflict.
Yeah, it really comes down to, it's the timing of it, right? Because you want enough enemies so that every player can at least go once, but if ever it takes every player about 5 minutes to go through the turn, that's 25 minutes, and then assuming that maybe one of them didn't hit, now it's the enemy's turn, now it goes back to the top of the turn order.
The other thing too is, so if you're having them wander through like the low level zone, and you know they're level 15 and all the enemies are level 1 or whatever, roll on the encounter table, but have a couple of potential, I don't know if you have encounter tables, but you know what I mean. Have a couple of potential results on the encounter table that are something crazy, right? So like most of the time you're riding through the dunes and it's just bandit dudes, no biggie deal. But if I roll a D100 and I roll a 100, the Shai Hulud shows up, what up, sandworm, you know? And like, it's just by pure chance a fucking sandworm pops out of the ground. Now you actually have to do the fight, you know, shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's just, it just becomes a waste of time to just do the like, oh, you kill 5 bandit goons again, and it just takes so much time to set everything up, roll the initiative, have everyone go, blah blah blah. Yeah, it's just a big old waste of time. It's not that exciting. And if you want to do the thing where, oh, I want my players to feel a little powerful for a while, then the next time they go dungeon fucking, or the next time they get to a zone where they're gonna get into a bunch of fights, have a couple of fights that are like low level losers, you know? Like, oh, you're breaking into the enemy fortress. The first wave of bad guys is just 10 goon ass bandits that you're probably going to dunk on, and just let them dunk on them, you know? But doing it during travel is like mostly not necessary. That's my opinion on it. That's how I say handle it.
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much agree. Nowadays I do have, like, if they're traveling somewhere it's important, I have planned encounters. Where it's exactly. You're fighting this big fucking thing that's showing up. But if like, you know, because they have a vehicle, and, you know, yes, they're in California, but there's no traffic, right? Because it's the end of the fucking world.
Right. It has to be a creature that could, like, keep up or threaten them in some way.
Yeah, and it also, like, a safe bet is if you've got a car, even if you're in LA, you know, to get around you, it's a safe bet to be like, it takes an hour, right? It's like a reasonable amount of time when you're driving, and you can hand wave that, because it's like, oh, well, wouldn't this only be like 20 minutes away? It was like, oh yeah, well, the road's destroyed, you have to take the long way around, yada yada.
Yeah, there's no easy way to get anywhere.
Yeah, so like my safe bet is like, this takes an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's just, yeah. It is something I've had to deal with, where it's like, so I do want to throw some guys at you, but it's going to be a 2-hour encounter. I can feel it in my bones, and not that I don't want to do it, but I know that they don't want to spend 2 hours doing nothing when we have interesting plot stuff to do.
Well, yeah,
especially for a fight that will, like, barely advance them towards a level.
If they don't want to do it, then just don't do it. You know, if you know they don't want to do it, then just fuck it.
Well, I was gonna say also, you're getting into that high level where now a lot of combat encounters are going to take hours unless you kind of tweak some dials and honestly just cut whatever monster you throw at them, cut their health in half, up their damage. It's the simplest fucking thing to do. I kind of wish I did it in the 3-year game way earlier on.
I have
you could do that. You do the swinginess can get a little wild though if you're not careful.
It can, and I've done this, and I've learned that because Hellscape's numbers are already doubled, basically. Big. Yeah, if I double the damage, half the health, it could potentially die in less than a round and annihilate 2 players round 1. And I mean, like,
you don't have to double. You can always tweak it, like, you know, instead of halving the health and doubling the dial, you can always up the damage die by 1 or 2, and then like lower the health by 60% instead of 50. I don't know. Like, it's one of those that you're gonna have to play around with it a lot until you hit that like sweet spot of like, okay, you know, this is how much damage they should do now between this is, you know, the amount of health or AC or whatever.
You'd think I'd be good at this by now, being like, well, because like I know, like, they're like, okay, on a good round they can deal probably about 300 damage a round if they're really trying, and that sounds insane because it is insane. But it really do be how it is. So I'm like, okay, so basically every boss needs to have at least 300 HP, survive 1 good round. They all have health in like the 70s to 80s now, so it's got to do a comical amount of damage. It's wild.
Yep.
It no longer becomes like simple addition and fucking subtraction. It's literally like,
no.
It's like I have to be like, okay, what are the odds that they roll really well?
Yeah, tier 3 and 4 D&D is the time.
Yeah.
Well, this also is that thing where, you know, messing with the math on the fly. I mean, it's not totally on the fly, but messing with the math without really having a good grasp on it you'll be like, oh yeah, this should work, and then all of a sudden something crazy weird happens. You're like, oh wait, hold on, no.
Yeah. Like straight up doubling damage is a great way to just nuke someone into oblivion.
Yeah, well, and the other thing too is
like if they crit, you quadrupled their initial damage.
Yeah.
And on top of that, 5e does not assume there are a lot of tabletop games that assume combat is going to be very quick, swingy, and brutal. 5e does not assume that. So if all of a sudden that becomes the tone of things, your players are going to be like, whoa, wait, what happened?
Well, that's what happened in Strixhaven, because that's when they started changing in the way they work monsters. And some of the monsters my players fought, like a blood mage guy. He didn't have a lot of health. His AC wasn't that high, and my players are okay. But he does like 4d6 psychic damage per hit. And when he crit one of the players and literally almost killed them, everyone was like, oh shit, this is Voldemort. Oh no.
Yeah, I think, it's funny because I think originally the intent of 5e, and they sort of succeed at this, but also sort of don't. But the intent of 5e is supposed to be, any little goober ass goblin could threaten even a level 20 fighter, right? That's sort of supposed to be the idea. And that holds up to some degree, right? Like there's a certain amount of truth there. But hold on.
Okay. Holding.
It'd be real funny just to end right here.
Just right now. Thanks for coming, guys.
Thanks for coming, guys. Josh is gone. He died that day.
He did die.
All right, hold on. I'm back.
Okay.
Was it the cat?
We're close. We're close to shutting it down.
It was cat involved. Point being,
I understand.
Point being, yes, they were trying to do a thing where the math sort of worked all the way through, and that holds up to some degree, but it did take some of the volatileness out of the game. So now we are in this space where things can kind of drag. So yeah, you might be right, Matt, in that they're trying to maybe go back in that direction or push it or something. I don't know.
Because as one of the big complaints of 5e is that combat just takes way too fucking long. And I don't remember what it was, but I think there was something in one of the 1D&D's playtests that Wizards were trying to fix that. I don't remember off the top. I'm too tired to remember.
I mean,
I know that is a concern they want to try and
definitely there's a happy medium though, I think too, because I think a lot of people expect D&D to be the game where combat is longer and more drawn out, because there's a lot of tabletop games that very vehemently are like, no, our combat is fast and brutal, and it's like everyone's doing that, so it's like somebody's got to be the more like slower paced combat game,
D&D literally is known for taking hours for combat.
Right, yeah, it is. And I do think it probably takes too long right now, but you also don't want it to be too short.
Right.
Yeah, you don't want it to be hey, we have the big boss. Okay, it's done.
Yeah.
Like it should not be that quick.
Yeah, you don't want rounds to be 2 turns. Although it's kind of funny because when you keep track of round counts, they don't get as high as you would maybe expect.
No, it's just that every single
boss
turn takes 17 years to take.
It's like it's like a boss fight gets up to like 6 rounds usually.
And then the players are discussing things halfway through, or someone, it's like, I need to go to the bathroom, disappears for 6 years. And you're like, where did you go?
Yeah, and it also does depend on how many players you have in the group, because like I know my combats take a little. One of the things that make my combat takes longer is I have more players. So
I mean, I don't know what to tell you, Matt. That's
on you.
That's a you problem.
I also have 6 players. It
that's
also
not
takes forever.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind that being the issue. It's
if I had 6 players, bro, with some of the fights we've had,
it's honestly not as bad as you guys think.
Well, okay. I
just don't like it.
Don't tell me what to do because I've done it already and I don't like it. But B, I was talking about the length of fights, because a lot of my fights in my game already can get pretty long. So if we had 6 players,
6 players, it's kind of whatever.
Nah, I don't need it to be that much longer.
I would love to see.
Sorry, Matt, but you're not convincing me on this one. I drastically prefer.
I wasn't saying I wasn't trying to convince you to add more players. Well, I'm just saying it's not as bad as you make it out to be.
Well, it is though, because I've done it before. I'm speaking from a place of having. It's not like I'm speaking from like having never even tried. I've been in the scenario, and it is that bad for me. I hate it.
I'm just saying you're wrong. It's fine. Don't worry.
I
No, I'm kidding.
All right, we're gonna end there
This is
before
Matt's
someone
revenge
dies.
for us roasting him like relentlessly before session.
Yeah, okay. You follow us on the
Pulls
Twitter.
out Joker mask. You get what you fucking deserve.
Oh no!
Christ.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Leave comment.
Leave comment.
Leave
do
smiley
follow
face. Yeah.
on podcast platform. Also do follow on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. Good chaos episode. Intended after 1 hour. Did not think that I would only reach minute 30.
Yeah.
God damn it, Sam.
All right, listen. You know, sometimes you just have to let the chaos train take over.
Don't use my words against me.
All right.
All right, we have
So
been Sessions Canceled podcast.
All right. I rolled
smile.
an 18 on the deck of many things. What did I get?
Void. Bye.
Fuck!